This is how much of a fan I was. You see this? You see the merch? I was a RWBY stan. You don't understand. I was a fan of Monty from Dead Fantasy days because I loved the way he was doing his fight choreography. And even though I was a lot younger back then, I still spent a lot of my life not being a meathead. I don't. You guys know I always make fun of you for being meatheads in combat, power skilling, merchants, this, that, and the other. But man, this was some combat that I could really get behind. It got me excited. And I remember when the first RWBY trailers came out, you saw Ruby Rose against the werewolves. And then when the Yang was fighting those twins and they was actually doing like feints, I'm like, oh, like the show's gonna be it. It's gonna hit. I hate it. I fucking hate RWBY. I can't stand it. Now, this is one of the unfortunate series where I'm seeing the train wreck to the end, but it's killing me. It's killing me. Somebody help me.
I got no time to parlay, unless it's big checks or parlays. I've been bricked, it's not far away. Light the spliff and I stargaze. Consultation with the constellations. They said the world was in a dark phase. It got me desperado for protection. Carry big strap in a guitar case.
Before I even start getting into this, let me just say a couple things first, right? I criticize a lot of things. Y'all know that. I don't think that I'm a whiner or a complainer. I think what I'm doing is just criticism. And at the end of the day, it's one man's opinion. It's just me, right? I would say, like, okay, so there's Paper Mario fans. I'm not going to get into this real quick, but, like, there's the old guard, which I'm a part of. 1, 2, and Super, for the most part. And then there's a new one with Origami, Color Splash, and what's the other one? Sticker Star, right? For the people who really want the old games back, that go around attacking people, complain on their own, completely unprovoked, yes, this, that, and the other, I think that's problematic. Vice versa, both sides. Whereas with me, if you ask me and it comes up, I'll give you my opinion, which may not be something you want to hear because I'm more for the old guard. So understand that I don't go around just attacking RWBY fans and things like that and talking about it, but bro, anytime RWBY comes up, and I'm talking with my friend or something, I always end up going on a long ass rant because I get so upset because it wasn't supposed to be like this. Understand, I'm aware of what happened. I know that Monty passed. Rest in peace to the GOAT. I'm aware of what happened with the letter. So with his passing and the studio and Rooster Teeth basically desecrating his original vision for the series, and it's just so unfortunate because it's like my best recent example of absolute wasted potential. Because I could vouch for, especially the first 3 volumes, I'll vouch for. And up to 4, really, I'm willing. But after 4, I can't do it. We're on volume 8 right now. Episode 3 is the last thing that I've seen as of this video, because I don't know when this is going to drop. So it might, when it drops, it might be come with episodes out. So just be cognizant of when I'm dropping it, or when I'm recording this. There's something else I needed to say that was important before I really started. Okay, I think when it comes to fans of a particular thing, there's different levels of fandom. There's like the crackheads who know everything and constantly revisit it. There's people who are very well, they're very well versed in the series, but may not be that I look at every nook and cranny level. There's like the passing enthusiast, then like the more casual levels, and there's someone who's not really or new to it, right? I would say that I started off as a crackhead for basically the first 3 volumes and maybe a bit of 4, but after that I haven't really revisited it because I haven't really been enjoying it. So that being said, when things like that happen, I don't necessarily remember why I don't like certain stuff. So if I'm disorganized and I don't remember things, I don't script things anyway. So this might be one of the most disorganized rants videos I ever go. I might be all over the place, so just bear with me. And if you're a RWBY fan, why? I'm kidding. Okay, I'm not. Where do I even begin? So Monty passed away, and Miles and Carrie, Miles Luna and Carrie Shaws, I think their names are. I legitimately believe these two might be some of, if not the worst writers I have ever had the misfortune of having to experience. I want to put thing in that category from Kingdom Hearts, Tetsuya Nomura. Listen, you do character design, like, he has his strengths. I think his character designs are good and fine and everything, but when it comes to writing the plot, the pen, no, No, Square Enix. He's not the one. This Kingdom Hearts story is not it, but let me not even start a Kingdom Hearts right. This is not the time for this. Focus. This is, as I said, disorganized. Okay. What the hell happened to my show, bro? What happened to RWBY? RWBY feels like the ultimate. These guys just write stuff and just keep going. They don't ever revisit anything that happened in the past. Like, and the thing that they do revisit are mad trivial. I think in one of the first episodes of RWBY was late to something because someone hit all the buttons in the elevator, and Nora did that in the least episode. Like, that's like a joke thing. It's fine, but like, it's like they do volume 4 and they'll set up a plot point like, oh, this character feels this way about this group of people, and then when you start volume 5 episode 1, that's just gone. Like, is the ultimate what was the point series, because none of this shit ever fucking matters. The world feels, this is such an interesting world, so to speak. The world of Remnant, Grimm, the maidens, all of that stuff, semblance, all that stuff is interesting. And it's the most bland, whack, inconsistent world I'm experiencing as of right now, because nothing feels alive or real. I think one thing a lot of storytellers don't really get about world building is that the regular folk matter a lot. How they react and do stuff, and even if you're just walking down the street and it's the main characters and someone in the background is doing something, those things matter because that means they're reacting to world events. I don't like stories that it's like the things only happen when the main characters are around or happening, and there's different ways to do it. I don't want to like make it like, oh yes, it's only one way, because like One Piece, I would say, because the world is so segregated by islands and stuff, and people in East Blue are like, the elf fruits are real, like there's so much of that. You could do that a bit more with that series. So when the characters come to an island that's completely in the middle of some part of the Grand Line, things can happen. But we still see how these characters react to events around the world. While Luffy was going on his journey, there was 10 other pirate crews that basically started their adventure around the same time that became known as super rookies along with him. The world is alive and real and breathing. It's not just nonsense. And the actual characters that are normal and weaker or from various islands actually interact with the characters, do their own things, and then all that stuff happens. With RWBY, one of the things that always confused me the most is why these characters are not recognizable. There was that tournament, the fighting festival tournament. I don't remember what it's called off the bat in volume 3. This is the volume where Yang was manipulated by Emerald's like illusion semblance and quote unquote took Mercury's leg out. What happened to that shit? I thought she was going to be in hiding on the run. People would be like, "Hey, aren't you the girl who like?" No, they go somewhere and no one recognizes them. This is known as the biggest fighting tournament where everyone from Atlas to Mistral to what's the kingdom that they're from? Damn it, I don't remember the regular kingdom. All that, you know, I would say Mantle, but Mantle's part Atlas. Anyway, sorry. No one recognizes them. Like it's like this world feels very empty, like empty avatars. It's like only when the main characters come and do something then things happen. But like the regular people, they don't really matter. They're like I know with the first 2 seasons they probably didn't have the money and stuff to really add people. Now you're seeing people and stuff, and then this story too has wasted so many great characters, and this series has a huge retconning problem. Retroactive continuity. For anyone who doesn't really know what that is, it's essentially when you kind of ditch or totally switch a concept you may have had earlier in the story for later. So I'm thinking of a good example of a retroactive continuity. I mean, I don't want to use an example from RWBY in case you guys aren't familiar with it. Like in comic books, right? You might have Superman in issue 6, and it's like, oh, he actually can't use. This is not a real thing. He can't use heat vision in the night, and then later on he uses heat vision in the night, and they basically kind of write around why. There's sometimes where people actually confuse laying the seeds for later abilities to bloom in different ways that they see as a retcon. But I'm talking about if you legitimately made it look, it's impossible for heat vision to work in the night, and then he does it, and it's like, oh no, we just changed it. Or sometimes they just don't address it, which happens. And then when when anyone kind of try to scrutinize the writers, it's a cartoon. You guys are such fucking bums. Y'all suck. You trash. I hope, honest to God, if you see this video, run my fade. You guys are the worst writers I have probably ever seen. You're not good at what you're doing. And you're probably like, well, who do you think you are? I have published works, bro. And articles. I'm out here. So I am a writer. So don't even try to come at me like, what have you done? I have done it. I've won contests. Because what I excelled at in school was English, writer's craft, creative writing, you know, philosophy, media study, film. That's what I was good at. That's what I excelled in. Journalism is what I did in post-secondary and stuff. So check yourself. I understand writing, bro. But these retcons are getting ridiculous because it's just like nothing ever fucking matters. Like it's come to the point where like they could introduce something and I'm like I don't even want to get excited about it. Even if in concept it's brilliant. Okay, so semblance was like the manifestation of your soul and it bleeds into your ability, which means if somehow you can give away your aura, semblance, and stuff like that, that means you're giving your soul. So if the old man is putting his soul into Penny, doesn't that mean Penny's soul is just the old man? There's just two of the old guy. Like there's things like that that's happening where it's like they've changed it, and it's hard. Naruto has a retcon problem too. You could probably think of a couple examples in Naruto where they've done stuff like that. But anywho, where do I even go next now? Like the combat to me was at the very least where I thought they would never drop the ball. There's been good fights since Monty hasn't been there and stuff. They even reused some of Monty's stuff later on. Let's talk about the faunus. The faunus were this discriminized. They kind of look like us for the most part. But let's say you saw me, but like I had claws and like long fangs here or something, or like horns. You know, like oh discrimination. I honestly don't see faunus discrimination. This is the most tell don't show kind of issue in the series where it's like anytime I see the faunus and stuff. I not like, bro, you taking one random guy like, oh, you stinky faunus, you smell, you're the worst, you suck. That's not discrimination. Like, that's not making me feel like they're being oppressed. That's not what the story is doing. You have to really show me this. Like, I have to see it and feel it and believe it and go, okay. Because I'm going into Adam and Blake's relationship. Adam and Blake, from the way it was presented initially, was absolutely not romantic. It's not to say there couldn't have been some master and student kind of feelings there, but it wasn't like that. And Adam's focus was on the faunus becoming the kind of dominant species, or you know, getting respect and helping them out. That was what his goal was. And then all of a sudden he became Blake, oh my god, how did you leave me? We were so good together. Where the fuck did that shit come from? That was not what it was about. It was not. Go check, I promise you. They completely ruined and changed Adam's motivations and then fucked up the power scaling because he folded them. Blake could not hang with him because he's one of those upper echelon huntresses or huntsmen. Took off Yang's arm, and I watched that one scene where she's like, boom, and knocks him down. Like, what is this? This is so garbage. So garbage. This is so nasty. And like my probable biggest issue with what's going on right now is the portrayal of Ironwood. General Ironwood is a general of Atlas and stuff, and he's like military guy, whatever, right? You need people like him to make hard and difficult decisions, even though it may not help out a certain type of group of people or a minority or something, but you have to make type of decisions. As far as I am concerned, he's been nothing but transparent with the group, real, and making the hard calls when he has to make them. Not that I agree with everything he's saying, and I could understand why you might feel a certain way with why he said, okay, you know, we have to do this, but what about the 3% of people that can be affected? We have to save the 97, you know? Okay. Hard decision to make, but I could understand it, right? I can't stand how much the show is going out its way to portray him as like an absolute enemy to Team RWBY. Like, no, you guys need to check yourself too. You guys are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and you fuck up so many things. And you guys were the one who was dishonest with Ironwood. And when you guys showed him your dishonesty, because he's been nothing but honest with you guys, and he respects loyalty, he revoked that trust, and now y'all want to malfunction. What? And then they made him just shoot that random guy in the head. Now it's like, oh, he's crazy. He's losing it. Don't you see? Team RWBY was right. He's off his rocker. No. You made him so interesting, and now he's not interesting. Because now it's just like, oh, he's a tyrant running with the power. He's going to shoot whoever he wants and make martial law whenever he wants. That's not what it was. That he was not doing that. That's not how it was portrayed. They're just doing that bullshit now to make him look bad. That's why now he's working with Watts to hack Penny, to make it seem like, you see, he's going too far type B. And it's like, no, if y'all was upfront and honest with him and didn't do all this XY stupid shit, this wouldn't happen, bro. Crow fought Clover with fucking Tyrion. Tyrion killed him, and he's like, I can't believe this happened. I gotta take out Ironwood. It's his fault. Where is the logic? Make this shit make sense. I'm so tired. You guys don't understand. I don't deserve it. I need help. It's like Super. Like people like I can turn my brain off watching Dragon Ball Super, and what's happening is so incredibly stupid, I still feel insulted. You're insulting my intelligence. I can't even say intellect. That's how fucked up they got. That's how fucked up they got me. Holy fuck, holy brother. Okay. Is there anything else I need to address? They ruined my favorite character. Yang and Pyrrha are my favorite characters. Thank God Pyrrha died in season 3 before they could fucking ruin her. But Yang has become the most insufferable person in this group. I went from hating Weiss to being like, damn, she's actually the best one now. Then you got this dumb girl, Blake. I've never seen somebody who can make the grandest, biggest issue out of the most minor of things. How come every time something comes to Blake, it's the most do or die, high stake, a meteor is coming on a collision course to Earth situation? RWBY and Weiss had this. RWBY and Yang had disagreements. They're siblings. Siblings fight. It happens all the time. I don't know how they'll ever make up. It's over. It's just, I can't believe they had such a tragic fight. What's wrong with who's writing this? Who's in charge? Who's letting this happen? Bro, if I'm an animator, I'm like, nah, I can't even do this, bro. I gotta go. Like, I know they have some all kind of shit happening there. There's that stuff with Vic, and I know some animators, whatever, but bro, I can't. Like Crow is one of the examples of a character who got shafted the least. First of all, he's honestly got no reason. He has got no role here. Crow was actually mad cool with his niece, especially RWBY. That's why RWBY wanted to use a scythe type beat. And Crow had saved her on so many occasions where like they wandered too far with the Yang or whatever, and Crow came and saved her yesterday on the other. And then she just batting him up in that one season like you ain't shit, blah blah blah. This and that. I'm like, bro, what's going on? And Crow honestly doesn't have anything to do, and I feel bad because like he's kind of a lone wolf by necessity because his semblance is misfortune and he can't turn it on or off, which means it affects his friends as much as it affects his enemies. So, like, I guess in the kind of a way if it's working, like, let's say I was fighting with Crow, and his semblance decides to activate. Mind you, remember, he can't really turn it on or off. Maybe back when I built my weapon, I low-key didn't put a screw in properly. That screw will come out and my shit will fall apart and get smacked in the face. Misfortune. And that's kind of how it works, which is why he's usually kind of a lone wolf. Okay, it makes sense. Then he met Clover. Clover is his good luck, so they had their little rapport relationship, and it just went in this really dumb and weird direction. I just don't fucking understand. I just need it to make sense. The Salem and Ironwood Ozpin backstory, I felt like if they had set the foundation for the very basis of conflict that is the series, which means Salem's goal and want to take over the world and Ozpin and this and that and the other, I'm like, okay, you might be able to kind of salvage this, mitigate the damage. And I promise you, unfortunately, I cannot remember the problems with that flashback, but it wasn't it. And I'm like, I think that's when I knew the show was doomed. It was just, there's nothing they can do. You have fucking Robin wants to start a fight mid-air in the plane. Bro, the election was like 70-30 heard. All of a sudden, it flipped. No one questioned it. This is what I'm talking about. Where the people in the world are not. They don't actually react to anything. They're not. They're just empty avatars. It's just a mess from start to finish. The combat not good. They fucked up with Adam. Adam lost it. They screwed up the power scaling so badly, make any sense. Because Crow and those upper echelon huntsmen should be so much stronger. The Ace team, basically Ironwood's like, top guards. They're like, huh, you were stronger than us, heh, until you trained us. Y'all worked with them for like a month. A month of training made you whoop them like this? I seen a scene with the Weiss like, oh my god, the door's locked. You guys have fucking superpowers. I've seen you already break out of a steel cage by summoning the armored snow thing that you fought in the white intro way back when RWBY was being promoted in the trailer. Just what are we doing? And can I talk to you guys? You guys have definitely heard me bring this up and talk about this scene all the time, but let me bring up the one scene that just like it sent me somewhere, somewhere different, because I've just never seen something like this, and I wish I could still remember it verbatim. But here, Maria is talking to RWBY, gray eyes, silver eyes, disability, whatever. She's like, okay, you have friends and family or whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, so you need to forget about them, empty your mind, listen to any other, and then think about the people who love and care about you, or who you love and care about. So my friends and family, what the fuck are we doing? Who's writing this? And how are you getting away with it? You can't keep getting away with this. You can't keep getting away with this. Who is responsible? I need some higher up the slide. And then, anyways. And then now the series just become like more like a propaganda merchandising type series. You ever see the series where like it becomes more about the merchandise and the Star Wars, right? I'm not even gonna go into all Star Wars stuff. I like Star Wars. Star Wars is fine. I'm not a fan of the new Disney trilogy. Let's leave it at that. But with Kathleen Kennedy, Rian Johnson, and those guys, right? Do you remember why? Do you remember the concept like if you don't like Rey, therefore you hate women kind of argument? RWBY is kind of in that realm where it's like, listen, the relationship with Blake and Yang, I do not. It's fine. Even though the Sun relationship makes way more sense for Blake, I don't actually like Sun. I like Yang, so I'm totally okay with it. How we got here is just forced. Like we need to get the lesbian type beat on our side. That's all it ever is and promoted to be. Even though it doesn't necessarily make sense, or it's not seamless, sexy if you will, how it came together. I don't even care. I have a problem with it. It's just dumb how it's happening. It's just like a push thing to make the fandom more united in that sense, because they do a lot of tricks that I'm like, I can see behind the veil and know what it really means, but I can get why it would get a casual consumer, or a passing fan, or people who just like cosplaying and drawing art and stuff like that. And part of the things that probably make this stand out to me a bit more is I actually read a bit of the manga and stuff, because the manga goes into it more. Like, bro, the manga is doing a better job with these characters than you guys are. You've actually ruined this whole cast. Ruby's the worst leader I've ever seen. I don't know why anyone else is to follow her. Nora has nothing to do. Ren. Anyways, Oscar. Just make him Ozpin and stop wasting my time with him. I'm tired. Oh, do you guys remember? There was that dude who he actually used dust in one of the more archaic ways by sticking into his hand, and he's mad at Ozpin because his sister went to that school and died. Like, this shit's not dangerous. Like, that's not part of the thing. Like, it's not her decision. And like this is the hatred he had been harboring for this dude for this long. I'm sorry if you can hear this, but my chair's gonna get my massage going on a little bit. I'm old. Holy crap! I don't know. And again, because I invested so much time, emotional investment, and care, and all of that into the series, and to be frank, money. It's come to the point how I felt about Naruto and Bleach at a certain point. Granted, those are not two things I spent money on that much to say the least, but you read 500 chapters of Naruto, I might as well see it to 700. You know, like that's kind of how I was. I'm way better at dropping things now than I used to be, but like I feel like RWBY is kind of my baby in a sense where like for good, better for worse, I need to see it to the end, but it's just not it. Nothing that happens making sense. Nothing that happens even fucking matters. Like in this last episode, I think Penny used the credentials of the guy who built her or whatever. He's a wanted fugitive criminal. Why does his shit work? It's supposed to be the most technical, military, this and the other, to the point where it's like, you're a fugitive, boom, all of this is revoked. You can't access this. Like, listen, I can let one or two of those things slide. Like, okay, you know, maybe a little lapse in judgment. You didn't think about it like that. It's fine. Maybe they didn't get that military clearance yet. Okay, that's fine. But when you have 160 moments like that spread out through the series, this is a death by 1,000 paper cuts. Or if you will, a better analogy might be like, think of a ship with maybe a big, strong, well-built ship with maybe 2 small holes. You might be okay. You might be fine. Take that number and take it to like 300 little small holes here and there. Well, now the ship's not going to stay afloat because the multitude of small problems become a big one in the end. And that's what that scene represents. I'm not me being like, yeah, it's a nitpick, so to speak, but there's like so many instances like that. Then at some point it becomes an issue, does it not? Am I tripping? I don't think so. I'm exhausted. It hurts every fucking week to watch. I hate myself for putting myself through this. This is not self-love. This is not self-respect. This is just, what happened? I'm Monty, man. We needed you, bro. Even the choreography don't hit, like the fights don't hit like it used to. And you know what disappointed me with this season? Like I'm not gonna say the soundtrack's bad, but the opening not even it. Like at least the one thing I used to always be jigging with was the opening and the vocal songs, and like now those are not even hitting the same like how they used to. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about RWBY. I mean, I know some of my friends just kind of like, I just turn my brain off, I watch it and I go, and I want that power. I want that ability. I can't do it. I think too much. I'm like, no, didn't you just say this a scene ago? Now why are you doing this? Why are you saying no? Right? Didn't you want to help Mantle or whatever? And now you're siding with what RWBY's talking about. And then now they all want to get remember the Amethyst Tower, whatever the fuck it's called, was supposed to like, it's not even close to being done. This, not the other. First episode, yeah, it's almost done now. You just gotta do this one thing, and now it's done. And this is it. And Oscar got attacked by like a talking, walking Grim, which is cool. I like that. I think the characters must have watched that dude get fucking folded for like a minute before they moved. What the hell is this? Do your job. You're a hunter and huntress. That fake PTSD shit with Yang and Adam, that's not real. That wasn't real. That didn't feel. I felt like that felt shoehorned. That wasn't an actual plot point or whatever. I thought the stuff with Weiss and her family would have been more interesting. That didn't play out the way I thought it would. It was nice to see her mom, but the dad is a moron. He tried to run out of her room with a bunch of hunters, and he's not a fighter. What's happening? And then Robin with that one scene. This is the one thing that I remember seeing because honestly, if you ever wanted, anyways, I'm not getting with that. But like they were talking about something, and she just throws a chair and she yells out like only now or whatever, and it's like, why did you even say that? What did that have to do with literally anything? It is just so mind-boggling to me how many stupid idiotic decisions are just made on a constant, regular basis. That's all. I don't get it. Rooster Teeth stinky. Their best show was Camp. And Red and Blue, when I used to versus Blue, was cool. I don't watch it anymore. I wasn't even really like a Halo guy or nothing, but that was cool. I remember liking that. I don't like Genlock. They screwed the pooch with that one. I don't know how you guys feel. I don't know if I should keep talking because I feel like there's so much more I'm not remembering that I need to talk about, but it's just not coming to me because like I have a tendency, if I don't like something, I do what Finn does and I put it in the vault. I don't want to feel this no more. And I lock it away in the vault, in the archives. Dusty. You gotta go through like those like libraries where you have like the sliding chair and you have to open it. Right? That's That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing with so many of these memories right now. But we'll see where this goes. I'm very, very exhausted. General Ironwood didn't do anything wrong. They're gonna paint him as a bad guy now. They're doing the most to do it, but Team RWBY was not right in what they were doing, or Juniper and stuff. I just wish we got the original vision that Monty was gonna give us. It's just unfortunate. But anyways, you guys tell me what you think about RWBY. Do you watch RWBY? Do you not watch RWBY? Did you drop it? Did you pick it up? Did you think about picking it up? I don't know. All of that. Someone shoot me.
Tears all falling, my heart is froze. Can't talk to me, but I can't let go.